What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a special guest with me. This is Elizabeth. We actually met a couple of months, possibly a year or so ago.
I think it was almost a year ago now, right?
And I knew, like, immediately she was one of those people that I knew getting to know her and just following her journey would be inspiring to me, and that's why I have her here today, so she can inspire someone else watching this video. We're going to be chatting about how she got into fashion. I'm going to be asking some really useful questions that I think I can learn from and you watching could learn from as well. So if you'd like to hear what the questions are as well as her answer, make sure to keep on watching. So how did you get started? Everyone's journey is really different, but how did you get into fashion and designing proper?
Okay, well, I think this is so cliche, but I always wanted to be a fashion designer. Like, literally, I would sketch and draw when I was a little girl.
Really?
And my parents realised that she's really serious about this. So at age 14, I enrolled into the Arts Institute in Bournemouth and did a Saturday fashion design course. That was my first time going from sketching to understanding how something's constructed, drawing, going to the library and actually having it breathe.
Okay.
So, so from 14, I started studying fashion. And then through my GCSEs, I guess, I did textiles, fine art, and then I went to college and I did mixed media textiles as well as like some academic stuff like communication studies and English. Also did fine art again.
A lot of like art related courses. You started learning that really early on.
The design process.
Okay.
And then I took a scholarship in central London to do a focus on fashion. So it was an art diploma, but the direction was fashion. And after that, I went to university to study surface design for 3 years. But funny enough, my first year, I did creative writing and mixed media textiles. So I haven't actually studied fashion itself.
Yeah.
After doing that, I did do short courses in fashion. So I did bespoke tailoring at Newham College, which was a really good course. I did a short course with Fashion Enter. And that's based in Haringey in North London, and that was kind of in association with ASOS. And there I learned pattern cutting, sewing, and also like the process from having a sketch to a final product in store. So my focus was surface design, and then I did short courses in fashion. So that's like my long route from being 14.
You have like a really I didn't realize, but you actually have a lot of qualifications. So it's not just the fabrics, it's not just like the feel and vibe of your brand. You have the backing from the education there, because some people do internships and learn what it is fashion, but you sort of like studied and you had like your time running a business and now you're here. So that's a really good balance and mix, so you know both the technical and like the practical part. So that's
because I remember I must have been about maybe 18 when I first moved to London. I come across factories which could make really amazing clothes, so I gave them a sketch. And at that point, I wasn't ready to have a label or a brand. I was like, okay, I want to make this, but I didn't fully understand the materials required, the difference between stretch and non-woven, and how would someone get into that? That looks amazing and it looks cute, but how would someone wear it? How would you care for that garment? You know. So it took many years to get to this point, but it's been a good journey. It's been fun, and I'm still learning every day. To be honest,
that's what makes it a very like inspiring journey, because as you go along, you learn new things, how to improve yourself, how to improve your brand, your business, and so on. So that's really cool. You mentioned that your parents noticed early on that you were really into art, so they were very supportive of you then.
Yeah, I mean, I always drew. Like, I was that girl in class doodling, getting distracted, drawing. So that was just me from the get-go. So yeah, they supported that and allowed me to study at art school at age 14. So.
Did they pay for your education? Because I know you mentioned that you got scholarships at some point. But... Yeah,
so the art school, because I was actually fostered. So I lived in Bournemouth with a foster family. And it was through social services I had funding to go to do the art school. And the scholarship, the funny thing was, we had, I think UCAS is still a thing, right? When you go to university, you apply for UCAS points. So I was applying to go to do like something creative like fashion or textiles, but I had to have a certain amount of UCAS points, and they always really like you to do an art and design diploma. So when I was looking for courses to do art and design diplomas, I found a college called Blake, and I didn't realise it was a private school. So I just applied thinking, I just want to go there. That was one of my options. And they explained that actually, it's quite expensive to be here, but we really like your work and we're happy to offer you a scholarship. So
wow,
I was just really lucky.
Cool.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
So that took me from being in Bournemouth, where I grew up with my family since I was a baby, to being in London, which is obviously the capital for fashion. So it was great to come to the city and get exposed to like so many events and have the access to trade shows and even designers and stuff. So it was just really great to be back. Well, I say back in London. I was born in London, but I left when I was 10 weeks old, so I really don't remember it. Yeah, it was good to move to London, to the city. So a lot of energy and a lot of inspiration here.
Okay. So would you say for sure that all the education you had has contributed to you becoming a successful designer?
Yeah, because I guess like one of my unique selling points is that I do my own prints. So all the fabrics I use are designed in-house by me. So I do oil paintings and sketches and then digitalize them and make them into repeat file, and then they get printed onto silks. Sometimes like tencel, bamboo, all sustainable fabrics. And if I didn't study surface design, then I wouldn't have explored getting fabrics done myself. I would have just gone to the fabric store and be like, okay, that's an amazing fabric, I want to choose that. So now going forward, ever since I started Yemzi, I've always used my own prints. And if I didn't study surface design at LCC, London College of Fashion, I don't think I would have bothered, I didn't even know that was like a thing, designing prints and fabrics, so.
It's incredible that you can't do the entire process. You make the fabrics, you can make the patterns, you can sew, and then you're really good with, her Instagram is really cool. I just checked it before we started. I like how the images are very like visual and clear, and you can immediately get the vibe of your brand and your business. So you are like a one woman working that.
Yeah, I guess so. But I guess as the brand gets bigger, I have to delegate stuff. I can't really do everything myself. So yeah, I mean, I prefer not to sew. If I'm honest, I omit that one.
Sewing is fun though.
Sewing silk though. Like it's just
true.
It's slippery and because of the price point of the product, it has to be perfect. I don't have a stitch out of place. I don't have anything off, like everything, and sometimes matching fabrics, and it's just crazy. It's a lot of work, and I prefer to do other things. So it's like I can't do everything. So I may as well give
to someone, outsource it to someone else.
That's it. Yeah, so especially when an order comes in, I might have 20 pieces that need to be done in a couple of weeks, and if I'm just out there sewing those pieces, then the rest of the business kind of suffers. So it's all about delegation.
So if you don't like sewing, where do you produce your clothes? Are they made in the UK?
Everything's made in London.
Isn't that like crazy expensive?
It's very expensive. That's why the prices are expensive, but the quality is guaranteed. That's the thing.
True.
So I work with studios that work with other fashion houses that are able to create things at a high level, French seams and all that. So yeah.
And you can actually go there and like visit the factories and see what they do.
That's the benefit of having a studio in London, because I can just pop in and see how it's going. And I've heard of like people losing lots of fabric. Like they're saying they'll give them the tech pack and the patterns and say, okay, I want to have 100 of these, and then they'll get the fabric and be like, oh, okay, well, there's not enough fabric, when they know they've done like the lay plan and the fabric's gone. There's nothing you can do. You're going to take that flight to Turkey and try and hunt down your missing pieces, or you just let it go. And often these factories will put different labels and then sell the product.
And you wouldn't know because you're not there, so you can't control what goes on.
You don't know if it's a sweatshop, if people are getting paid fair prices, and so it's good that I can pop in anytime. And I work with a few different studios as well. So if someone's busy, then I can give it to a different studio.
Okay.
And it works that way.
Nice. Wow. So since what year would you say you like officially started Yemzi?
I launched in 2000. I'd say like I took the name Yemzi in 2013 after I graduated from LCC, and I've been slowly doing pieces then. My first product was a t-shirt. So as you know, I like drawing, so I drew like a tiger on my Wacom tablet, and I printed that onto a Tencel t-shirt. I pitched it to a store in Shoreditch, and they took it on. So that was my first product to sell, but obviously that wasn't cut and sew, that was a ready-made t-shirt I printed. Then cut and sew I think started in 2014 or 15.
So like a year after you did the t-shirt project, you did like a proper collection.
So it's just like I don't want to be like a t-shirt designer. Like I've got ideas for a collection, so that's what pushed me to begin, because I didn't want to be bracketed as a t-shirt designer. So
I mean, you can do both. You can have like your really lovely like silky designs, and you can have like because I know bigger brands do that as well. They collaborate with H&M and Topshop, and then they have like sort of an offshoot of their main like brand thing, which is like more casual stuff that's more affordable. So
definitely
you can always do both.
Yeah, you can have those different price points, but to just be printing on existing products, to me that's not a designer, like fashion designer. So that's what I want to step away from. But yeah, definitely I want to actually introduce some basic tees and jumpers. So going to be bringing those back into the collection, because a lot of my stuff is very kind of beachwear, relaxed, resort, but being in UK you need some...
No, I think it depends on how you style it though. Like that dress I told you I liked, you can wear that thing for like a cocktail party, red carpet thing, depending on your shoes and your hair. That dress is definitely something that has a lot of potential.
Thank you. It's good to know. That's like one feedback I get is like, oh, what about for the winter months, it's cold here, so I'm trying to cater for more people, but we'll see how it goes.
You have to start somewhere, and you already have like a very clear identity, so that's a good starting point.
Definitely.
Cool. I was going to ask if you could tell us one challenge that has really like hit you, or you experience daily or monthly as a creative or as a business owner in the UK and as a Black woman.
There are several challenges, to be honest. The most immediate one I thought of was learning to stylist, because it's a really great way of getting your product on models and getting like amazing final images. So how it works is a stylist will get in touch and say, I really like your latest collection, this piece, that piece, can we borrow it for a shoot with X person? So it could be a singer, could be just like a submission for a magazine. And generally, like, I love to work with people and collaborate, and if I can see that they've got a nice style, like a nice kind of aesthetic, and the photographer they're working with is good, I'm just like, that's fine. So I've just been experiencing a lot of people not taking care of the pieces. Like, I told someone I need to dry clean them, they came back washed, and that completely ruined the silk, because silk is so delicate. As soon as you put it in the washing machine, the heat and the detergents that you're using can just completely ruin the silk. So
that's so unfair.
So I'm in a kind of battle at the moment with one stylist who washed 15 pieces, and honestly, 15. I don't usually learn that much, but I've worked with her before, and I really love the photographer, so I was just like, take if you need 15, gonna be shooting 2 girls, and there was like 5 photographers, like that's fine. And now the pieces are ruined, so it's just like, it's like,
were
so
they
annoying.
Samples?
No, not all of them are samples. Some of them. So and then if it's not a stylistic, that's the first time something that extreme has happened. But often stylists can be late on returns. It's like, well, if you've got it, how can the next person borrow it? Because I only try to loan samples, but on this occasion I loaned actual product that's sellable, because I knew I'd worked with the girl before, and I really loved the photographer, so I made that exception. So if samples get ruined, it's not as heartbreaking, but
if it's like a product that you could have made money from, it's
so
that's gone.
That's the
Can't
thing.
get it back.
So it's just like, I think that's a challenge, because it's like, as a small business, like if that happened to 15 ASOS pieces, who really cares? Like, that stuff's so cheap to make anyway, but this is like my baby, like all my products are my babies. So, when people don't respect it, it can be quite disheartening.
It is painful. It's not even mine, but I can already imagine how that must have felt. Because all the fabric is bespoke, custom to you, all the hours, all the hours that went into designing and making, and you paid for.
And they get it for free, and then they bring it back ruined. So, that was painful. But I guess other challenges are, other challenges. There must be like.
Think about it.
No, I mean, I guess space, like having business space, like being a business in London is not easy. So having like a space, a studio,
where
is
you
expensive.
Can like work from.
Yeah, where you can work from, and even having a store to sell in. Like right now, my business model is that I sell wholesale to stores, so they can.
They can
pick what they want.
Yeah.
Alternatively, depending on the store, I can do sell or return for them. So I create the product and then give it to them. They pay me wholesale once it sells at the end of each month. At the end of the contract, say maybe it's like agreed 4 months, they will send back anything that hasn't been sold.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess the challenge is like making sure I can find new people, new stockists to hold my garments. And obviously being at a higher price point, I'm limited to who will stock it. And it's quite different. It's very bold, bright colours and clothing with like more subtle prints. And easy to care for fabrics like cottons and stuff. They're easy generally to sell. Yeah. People can be a bit scared of how am I going to look after the silk, the cost of dry cleaning or all that kind of stuff. So I'm limited to where I can sell. So it's like, that's I guess a challenge each season, thinking, okay, how can I expand? How can I get more exposure in terms of sales and press and stuff? So, and also being selective, like having the opportunity to do something. Like I was invited to a fashion show recently and I was like, I don't know if it fits with my brand. It could be a great opportunity to network, but everything I do now I have to think, does it serve like the ethos and the purpose of the brand? Does it fit? Is it on that level, or am I sacrificing the label by doing that collaboration? So having to say no is a challenge. And also it's not, sometimes it's not anything personal, it's just like that just doesn't fit with what I'm doing, but I like what you're doing, but it's just not for my audience or so So
I was going to ask about funding, because that's one problem I had, and a lot of people who contact me, they have as well. Like, where do you get the money to invest in your business, especially if you're new or you're just starting out or you're trying to expand?
So for me, I've been self-funded from the get-go. So as a young girl, I'd always work and save my money. So I had like a bunch of money that I invested into the brand once I opened it. And then it's just organically like making a sale and reinvesting. I've never taken a loan, and I've just been self-funded, lucky enough. But it has been a real struggle. So sometimes I'd want to buy like more silk, but I'd have to do the minimum, so I've had to sacrifice. And sometimes having to collaborate with people without giving them exactly what I want. So it's like letting people know that, okay, we're doing a project, but this, maybe only your travel's covered, like you have to be sure that you can afford to be a part of this, because I just don't have the budget for it. So just having to sacrifice really. But I think it's important for people to look out for what's available. So there are like grants and funding available. But that wasn't the route that I've taken. So
would you ever consider getting maybe not a loan, but like getting investment?
I was looking at this before. There was a company, is it called Grant Thornton or something? And they had like a day where they were talking about investment into new businesses. And I was kind of getting my business in shape to potentially pitch, but I didn't go forward with it. I think just because being on my own in my company, didn't have enough time to think about that. I was more worried about how to make the money for the next month rather than thinking about long term. And fashion brands aren't the easiest to for investors to invest into as well, because of the nature of fashion. Like they want to see several seasons.
True. They want to be sure that you can actually be profitable.
And it's such a competitive industry as well. So I just didn't end up going down that route. But there are people out there that are ready to invest in fashion.
Okay. I was going to ask a question. It literally just skipped my mind, because the ones in the list are done. This is a really good one. Oh, I remember now. Yeah. So, so for someone who just finished fashion school, doesn't have any work experience, but wants to start your own business, because that's a very similar route that you took, right? You must have like interned at a couple of places, but you eventually did your own thing. What advice would you give to that person?
Yeah, definitely intern. I don't think I did enough internships, because I had the attitude of, why am I doing this work for free for you? Like I was explaining earlier, I had a textiles placement, and I was just like, I want these illustrations. Like we're looking at flowers, for example, and I had some really nice drawings. I was like, I want them for my collection. I don't want to just give these away. So I ended up, just kind of leaving the internship. There wasn't a set, say 2 months or whatever. It was just quite casual, and I just thought, you know what? I don't feel like I'm learning that much here, but maybe if I'd stayed, I would have. So definitely explore different types of internships as well, and just see it, find out what you can learn, because there's more to fashion design than just being...
True.
There's just different aspects, like there might be a pattern cutter or a technical pattern cutter, or you might want to focus on the print, or I don't know, yeah, you might realize that you want to be the art director for the label rather than actually creating designs, but you have a better idea for the feel or maybe the photography or whatever. So I think just be open and try to, you know, stick out to do maybe like three placements in varying fields and get an idea of what you really want to do.
True. That it always helps because then you get like real life experience of what it's like to be working in fashion, whether you end up opening your own business or you work for someone else. You always like see, okay, this is what a typical day is going to feel like, and if I'm cut out for this or not. It always really helps. Because someone asked me one time, she couldn't get like money to pay for her tuition, so she was like, do you think it's necessary to go study fashion, or should I just go be an apprentice at an established studio? So I was like, they're both important though. So if you can't do both, that would be great. But I would always say nothing beats experience.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Nothing beats experience. So.
Yeah, it's so different. Like being in industry from being sat at a classroom table. It's really not the same. And then being at one fashion house to another can be a different experience. Like working for a small company, like sometimes I take on interns, and what their experience with me, they'll probably be a lot more hands-on than what they would. So they could be just be making tea somewhere, or you know, or it could just vary. So the more opportunities you have to fill the industry in different places, I think that would be really good. But I would never say no to education. I was really like lucky to have scholarships and funding at some stages. But even now, I would pay to study. So. Yeah.
Oh, nice. This was really good. This was actually really, really nice.
Thank you.
And then it'll become like conversations. Like the camera is there, but we just ended up gisting with each other. This is really nice. Thank you so much for coming. Before I let you go, I have to show you guys what she brought with.
Yeah, I'm excited for this, to see what you're gonna make with this.
It's so soft. It literally feels like butter.
Yeah.
Silk is like one fabric that you have to be so careful cutting.
That's it.
Sewing. And I'm excited for this. I'm really, really excited. What do you guys think I should make with this fabric? I was thinking like a slip dress, bias cut, like an alternate dress, the holidays, because I'll be going to Portugal soon.
Oh, nice. Holiday time.
Yeah, so if you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comment section down below. But this is one of her designs. She made this herself, and the quality is incredible. It's just like to die for. And she has so many, even the top you're wearing today, this is your design as well too, right? So it's just, I love prints, so this is really making me very excited in all types of ways.
And it's yellow as well. It's your colour.
We all know how I feel about yellow right about now. I don't think I need to say anything, but yeah. I will leave a link to your shop, your socials. What's your Instagram handle?
It's Yemzi, Yemzi.
Yemzi.
Yeah.
Where did that name even come from?
That's from my Nigerian name, Yemi.
Oh, so like Yemzi. Oh,
just Yemi.
Just Yemi. Okay, okay.
And then I just thought Yemzi sounds good.
It's actually it's very cool and very unique and easy to remember.
That's it. That's what I was going
It's perfect.
Thank you.
I leave all links down below. Go check her out. Support her brand. And I think this fabric, you have more on sale.
Yeah, so it's £30 a meter, but I'm going to give you a special discount code for your viewers, and they'll get it a bit cheaper. So yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. I will leave all links down below. Like I said, shop, socials for this print and more, so you go check her out. I always find it really important to support other women who are doing really good at whatever field they're doing, especially if she's a creative, if she's in fashion, because I can sort of connect to what you do when I have deep respect for your hustle. Very deep respect.
Likewise.
Yeah, so thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment all of your thoughts, suggestions and ideas down below. Check out Elizabeth. And I'll see you guys in my next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys.